I just turned down my sound from because it was reverberating through everything. So
Okay.
only way I'm picking you up now is just through my phone that's streaming. So
Okay.
yeah, that's pretty much how we going. Anyway, um, yeah, man, what's going on, man? It's definitely been a day. Well, obviously, like I'm pretty sure you saw my post. So
Yeah, and I was gonna ask you about that, but I was like, I'm gonna see you anyway later.
yeah,
So I was like, at
no,
first
like
I was like, okay, is this dude like for real? Like, is that
yeah,
actual
that's a
blood?
real
Like,
cut that I got over my eye. Yeah, that's
okay, all right. Well, I guess not to be judgmental, but I guess I gotta ask, bro. Like, why you bleed so brightly, bro? Your blood looking like
it was
like
a it
fluorescent orange. No, I'm just kidding.
no, it was a
Because
light.
at first I was like, as many like horror films and action films that they've done blood. One of my biggest criticism is like, I hate when the blood looks too bright.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? Maybe it's been a while. I guess I don't see enough blood. I guess, or
Yeah,
I
no,
see
it
real
was
blood.
it was it was
Obviously.
pretty bright. So, no, what's going on, Key Energy? Um, but yeah, man, like it was it was interesting. So, what ended up happening was just basically like it was a Sundays are sparring days, and I basically had went through and started like I went through and I was getting a couple rounds in with some guys, and basically like the whole thing was there's this one dude, his name's Luke, big swole dude, looks like freaking Captain America, or he looks like he's in the super soldier program or
The
whatever.
Luke Cage, basically. The
Yeah,
Hollywood Luke Cage.
big white dude. He cool, man, but like
Oh, okay, okay,
he's cool. There's nothing
yeah.
malicious. Trust me, there's nothing malicious happening here. He's cool. Like I'm used to going with him. I mean, he's hit me with some stuff before. That rocked me. But like I know he don't mean anything by it. He's just a big dude. You know what I'm saying? Some big dudes just they can't control their strength. You know what I mean? So you know. But he just happened to hit me, and we were going with the MMA gloves, like, cause basically, with the MMA gloves, like, they're smaller, and there's just more maneuvering, but there's less padding to do stuff with. You know what I mean? And so, I think that might have been the
Sounds
first.
like the gloves that Shannon and what's her name did in
Yeah,
the fifth issue.
yeah,
Like those ones, the ones
yeah.
with
The
the
gloves that
smaller,
Shannon, the
like
Shan,
prettier. Okay, yeah.
yeah, the gloves that Shannon and Miley, they got. Yeah. So, yeah, Squiggles, basically, like, if you can look and see here, the bandage here, um, I was sparring today, and, basically I got hit with an uppercut, and, it cut me above the eye. So, and it was a decent little cut, you know what I'm saying? Like, it had me leaking. So, it was one of those things that kind of out of a movie though. You know what I'm saying? Like where it was just basically like I'm sitting there, I got hit, and I'm like, oh snap, because I'm covering up, and like I'm covering up like to try to stop his shots or whatever, and I put my head down, and what I always forgot, what I forgot because I hadn't sparred him in a long time, is he usually has like a really good uppercut, and he caught me with an uppercut, and it wasn't a hard uppercut. It just cut me. You know what I'm saying? It was like, oh shit, because he done blasted me before, but like this was one of those uppercuts where it was like, oh shit, like and then like I come out of it, I'm starting to move forward and starting to swing and stuff, and long story short is like, one half of my vision starts getting red. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm feeling the sweat come down, and you know, and yeah, it was like he had MMA gloves on. We were working with MMA gloves, and so he hit me, and like the glove cut me. You know what I'm saying? So, um, but it was just basically one of those things, and like it was like a movie. Which honestly, like when we get to issue 8, I kind of want to do that. I kind of want to do like because I'm gonna go back through the script and look at it, but I kind of want to do like a POV
A blood
image.
sequence.
Yeah, where it's like where we can mess around with the coloring, you know what I'm saying, and then like we can do like a sequence of shots where it's like you just see like one half of the image start to get kind of blurry and bloody, and then we pan out and we show like maybe Shannon's vision, or it
Oh
could be
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. We show that it's either Shannon's vision or Anana's vision, either one. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it just be a cool thing. What's up, Juaso? Um, but yeah, like it'd be one of
No,
those
that would
deals.
be fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
I would definitely.
that'd be a really cool thing to do. So I was like,
Yeah,
yo,
it
that
definitely
would.
has to be like one of the colors instead
Yeah,
of
it had to be on the
story
colorist.
at all.
Yeah,
It's like
ultimately it would have to be on the colorist, but like that would still be pretty slick. So, you know. Nah, Squiggles, man, it ain't nobody's fault, man. It was just a freak accident. Sometimes these things happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when you spar with people for so long. Sometimes you just get nicked. Sometimes you just get hit with a shot, and it's a thing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't. He's
freak accident.
yeah. He's
Freak
not a
accident.
he's not a dude. Like he's not a
Attention and cover ups.
right. Yeah, he's not a dude. And basically he's not a guy that like is gonna you know kind of have some ill intent on his shots or anything like that. I think, but that's why you always want to make sure the people that you spar with, you know them well. You know what I'm saying? Because there are certain people who, if you spar with them and they don't understand what light sparring means. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. No, he was kind of worried. He's kind of salty. You know what I'm saying? Because he a bigger dude, and like, what I've always sensed is he gets the inverse of what I get with striking with rolling. So it's like when I grapple, because I'm a heavier dude, like it's hard for me to like find a lot of grappling partners that like want to roll with me. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like on his end, but like yeah, it is. It's a thing. Like because I'm heavier dude. Like people don't want to. They don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a thing that happens. But on the flip side, everybody wants to strike with me because they're like, oh, you're a bigger target. You're slow, or they think I'm slow, and then that stuff happens. Because of that, everybody like strikes with me, and like I've my striking has came up exponentially. On the flip side with him, it's he doesn't get a lot of guys that want to spar with him because they see big muscly dude. He's gonna hit me hard. You know what I'm saying? And then like they're like, shit, I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Now some dudes that'll go right into the mix and be like, shit,
It's
okay,
like
let's
some Tekken stuff. It's like, man, I don't want to mess with you, man. But you play with Eddie Gordo.
right, exactly. So it's just like, it's kind of like the inverse. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, it's all good. But yeah. Oh yeah. So that was another story that happened a long time ago. So yes, I am missing a tooth because I guess I've never told that story. Shit. Okay, it's story time today. But yeah, like basically, so this was probably like 5 years ago now. So yeah, I'm missing a tooth, like one of my two front teeth. It got knocked out in sparring. Now, what happened with this? To answer the frequently asked question all the time, yes, I had a mouthpiece on. You know what I'm saying? Yes, so like yeah, because people always ask like, did you have a mouthpiece in? I was like, yeah, I had a mouthpiece in. But like, what happened is there's this other guy that I don't get to train with him that much anymore, but that dude's like my big cousin. Like even though he like he's younger than me, I always call him Big Cuz. But this dude named Tiger Banks, he's a very seasoned fighter. He's done like kickboxing and Muay Thai and stuff like that, like all over the world. That's primarily what he does. So he's like at the pro level and stuff. But like I went a couple of rounds with him, and you know, um, basically like what happened was we were sparring one day, and he hit me with like a very perfect jab. It wasn't a hard jab. It was just a perfect jab, just a perfect straight shot. You know what I'm saying? And like it loosened my tooth. It basically loosened my tooth to the point where like I had to get it pulled. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, like my theory was, you know what I'm saying, I already had like kind of bad teeth anyway. So because I wasn't taking care of them, so it was like he just sped up the process. You know what I mean? And so that was it. That was kind of the sucky thing about that. But yeah, I couldn't save the tooth because the tooth was like, when he hit me, it was just kind of like hanging out, like it was all weird. But you know, but yeah, like so, and that's the thing. So what you like as far as you saying like Squirrel's like, oh, I couldn't do sparring because like I get too mad and crash out, blah 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 blah. Here's the thing about that. So first of all, like when you're sparring, like first of all, like when you are learning how to spar, um, you got to take that out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like you gonna learn real quick that the madder you get, like depending on who you go with, the calmer they get, and they're gonna make you look really stupid. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna end up getting yourself hurt. So, you know, basically, you want to like go. You have to take it to a sense. You have to like kind of get into a sense of, you know, this person's not gonna hurt me. I'm not gonna hurt them. And you work in a very very controlled thing. And it takes a little bit of time for you to understand like control and stuff like that because most people, if they're very new to martial arts and you tell them, hey, go spar, they automatically think a couple of things. Fight, you know what I'm saying, number one. And then they think like, you know, I'm terrified I'm gonna get hurt. You know what I'm saying? So it's a very you have a very it's like a fight or flight thing because you automatically think you're in a fight. And yes, you are in a fight, but you're in a controlled fight. So it's more like, okay, I'm in this situation that's a very controlled environment. You know, I'm not going like, you know, this guy that I'm working with. Hopefully, he's like not. He's a seasoned guy, and he's not gonna hurt me. And I'm gonna learn not to hurt myself, not to get myself hurt. So, you know, and see the thing about that is the other thing about that is because most times when people get angry in sparring is because of ego. You know what I mean? It's because like people have these egos. They want to look good. They want to do something, and they're trying to win at sparring. And like you're not supposed to win at sparring. You're not like you're supposed to sit there and like kind of learn what works, what doesn't work. It helps you get better. It helps you understand defense. It helps you understand like you know what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's you know, it's basically yeah, it's basically you hit each other, but you don't put too much force behind it, and that's supposed to be the agreement between you and your partner. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if your partner, if you realize your partner getting too wild, obviously one of two things. You can either A, match that energy, which if he's better than you, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Or B, be like, hey man, hey we good. You know what I'm saying? I'm not you tripping. You know what I'm saying? And kind of get out of that situation. Uh, what's going on? What's going on, Don? But yeah, like you know, it's just one of those things, man. Like you really have to kind of figure that out, and it takes a little bit of time. And like you can't spar with everybody, you know, because everybody ain't on the same level. Some guys that are like on that mode where I'm just getting ready for fights and I don't want to kill people, and then you got to let them go. You know what I'm saying? They got people that they want to work with and they gonna get their time with, and then you got other people that are just like, hey, I just want to work technique, and they say, hey, let's do some light sparring, let's do some, you know, we just want to touch. We figured out the rules of engagement, and we gonna stick there. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, like I said, it's more of a thing with new guys or guys who have never learned like how to just sit there and be like, yo, I just want to touch. I want to get the light work in. You know, we just gonna go back and forth a little bit, trade a little bit, and you know, keep it moving, keep it light and airy. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like to say, light and airy. But yeah, so you know, basically, yeah, that's why it's good in theory to spar your friends. You know what I'm saying? Because your friends know you and they know what you can do, and they know like what you know what you're capable of. They ain't gonna try to kill you. You ain't gonna try to kill them. You know, so it's like you don't. Again, like I said, you don't try to go and spar everybody because not everybody is
I was under the
has.
impression that you go hard even if it's family, man. Like
No,
Posey told me,
if you got that
like
agreement,
about like time chamber,
right? If
no
you
matter
got that
what it's like,
agreement to do that,
you can catching them licks.
yeah, if you got that agreement to do that, then yeah. I mean, I've seen the, like two pros spar. You know what I'm saying? Like where it's like these dudes are like heavyweights and they be throwing hammers at each other, but they made that agreement to throw hammers at each other,
Yeah.
and like when you watch it, you're kind of in awe, like holy shit, these guys are really cracking. You know what I mean? And they know the rules of engagement. They know what they doing, and you just like, yeah, I want no parts of that. I'm over here kicking it. You know what I'm saying? So So when it's like it's different when you see it up close, you know, because like some of these guys that like I saw a video. This was maybe it was a while ago. It's a reel out there where like some dude was on the street asking people like, uh, what UFC fighter do you think you could beat? And like these guys were all like they were all saying stuff, and then you had one dude that was like none of them. You know what I'm saying? It was like because he understands the rules, like he understands like what it is, and you know, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, back of the head shots are not legal anywhere, any at any time. You know what I'm saying? So but yeah, like as far as like if you Squiggles, if you asking what's legal and illegal in MMA, in the West, like in America and like most of Europe, basically the rules that are legal is you can do obviously at the pro level. I'm just talking about the pro level. At amateurs, it gets all different depending on like where you are or whatever. But at the pro level, basic things are legal is or rather basic things that are not that are illegal are you cannot knee somebody to the head if they're on the ground. You can't kick somebody in the head if they're on the ground. And then other than that, it's just like no biting or scratching. Or no biting or like headbutts. You know what I mean? Which most recently, like a girl got like disqualified for like headbutting somebody. But yeah, and that was crazy. It was like, damn. And then there was another dude
Wait,
like,
wait, wait. So no headbutting even like any time of the match, like even if they're standing.
yeah, no headbutting at all. Yeah, there's no headbutting at all. So
That's interesting because I felt like a knee is more like devastating.
no elbows.
Like,
So Squiggles elbows to the ground, elbows to the head of a grounded opponent are legal. The only stipulation is you cannot do what's called 12 to 6 elbows, and it's weird. So yeah. So basically, Spooky Stabby, I'm gonna answer you in a quick question. I'm gonna finish this thought. But like 12 to 6 elbows are like basically if you pretty much take your elbow from like like put your elbow like on the top of your head like this and then come straight down on the guy's head. You can't do that for whatever reason. They when they were like making the official rules, they were like you can't do that to a grounded opponent because John Jones, that's the only loss that he has on his record. Is because he was beating a guy up on the ground. He had him mounted, and he started hitting him with elbows. They had to stop the fight, and then he decided that he wanted to elbow the guy with a 12 to 6 elbow, and basically they were like, "You can't do that. That's illegal," and they disqualified him. And so that's the only loss that he has in his career. You know, but Spooky Stabby, our comic book is called Scrap, and it's basically like about this girl Shannon Noble. She gets her black belt in traditional martial arts, gets thrown into the deep end of the world of MMA, and then finds out certain legends are more than just legends. I love doing that pitch, but this is our girl Shannon Noble right there. Top of your screen, bottom of your screen. So yeah, that's what you see on the bottom of your screen is basically our artist Charles Stewart. He is actually drawing the issue 6 right now. So that's kind of what we do on these streams. Is I pretty much talk about fighting, or I play fighting video games. We talk about that stuff. Sometimes I show fights, and pretty much he's drawing the comic. So that's pretty much what it's about. And so yeah, my consistent stream of martial arts highlights and stuff like that. It's all just saying, hey, here's this stuff about it's just basically trying to bring you back into reminding you that hey, this comic scrap exists. So but yeah, you can read Squiggles. You can read the comics at Global Comics. I think you can read them for free. Like if you can't buy them.
wait. Are you serious?
I
Like
think
that was another question I meant to ask you.
I think you can, but I think you
There
got
was
it.
people asking about like how can I read Scrap if I can't like buy them in person.
Yeah, like I think I'm about to bring up the site real quick because I think on Global Comics, which I gotta update Global Comics anyway. So, but I think you can do that. But I'm about to look it up real quick. Let's see here. Yeah. All right. So it looks like issue one of Scrap is up there. Um, huh. All right, cool. So, yeah, you can do Global Comics. You can actually go right here to read the first issue. Um, so yeah, the favorite. Squiggles asked if. Oh yeah, like we're on issue. We're about to drop issue 6. We're up to issue 5 right now. So, and it's a hard process to get these issues out, man. It's like it takes a lot of money and a lot of time, and like sometimes these Kickstarters they don't work out, so you got to fund it yourself, and it's kind of a thing. But that's aside from the point. Um, but yeah, Squiggles, to answer your question though, uh, basically my favorite UFC moment of all time is the immaculate submission with Anderson Silva. So to tell the story for those who don't know, basically this was when Anderson Silva was he was oh okay, all right. I know Charles is like kind of chopping out there. But Anderson Silva,
Sorry,
basically,
on my end, my
he was a
other
middleweight
device
champion at the
overheating.
time, and you had this guy Chael Sonnen who talked a lot of crap, who basically talked himself into a title shot. Uh, and Chael Sonnen was like, I'm hoping
Fred, can
Charles
you hear
comes
me?
back. I guess he dropped out there for a second, but yeah, like pretty much Anderson like he was dominant at that time. He was in like people were like he's invincible. He's this and this. He schooled a bunch of people. Chael came along and just wrestled the hell out of Anderson. You know what I'm saying? He came along, wrestled the hell out of Anderson, and then like basically for 5 rounds he put Anderson on his back. He beat Anderson up. He was hitting Anderson with all this stuff. And Anderson is just, he was this superior striker. He was doing all these cool things and, all this other stuff. But, like, in that fight, Chael Sonnen was winning. He was cooking him. And basically, what ended up happening was, Anderson, like, you got about 2 minutes left in the fight. And it's just looking like Chael won every round. He dominated the guy. He did everything. And then about 2 minutes left in the fight, pretty much it's looking like everybody's writing Anderson off, and he throws up a triangle. He throws up a triangle and locks it up, and then like Chael can't get out. You know what I'm saying? And Chael ends up tapping, and it was just the most bonkers moment because like everybody had wrote him off, and it was like it's only 2 minutes left in the fight. Anderson on his back. We don't know what he gonna do. It's just bad news bears. This is just terrible. Everybody wrote him off. Even my homeboy that I was training with at the time, he was like, "Man, I turned the fight off like after the 4th round. Like I already knew he lost. This, and this." I was like, "No, he didn't." And it was a thing. So, like I said, with 2 minutes left, he hits this triangle and basically like stays the middleweight champion. And it's just the greatest moment. Like that moment's actually in the UFC Hall of Fame now. But like that's my favorite MMA moment like of all time. Other than that, like it's a bunch of other moments. It's a lot of Max Holloway moments I like. Max Holloway doing "I'm the best boxer in UFC." You know what I'm saying? Like that was like that's still my that's probably my second. It's a lot of Max Holloway moments. You know what I'm saying? It's the "I'm the best boxer in UFC," and then there was the other moment where he was like, you know, he was teaching he was teaching Brian Ortega how to block in the middle of the fight. You know what I'm saying? And like, cause he kept hitting Brian Ortega with these ones and twos, and I'm gonna put this in a book one day. But like, he kept hitting Brian Ortega with like ones and twos, just cracking him, cracking him, cracking him. And he was like, "Man, you're not blocking these punches. Like, listen, this is what you need to do to block these punches." He started lifting up his hands like, "Block your punches like this, block punches like this," and he was still cracking. He was like, "No, just make sure you blocking them like this." Like, it's like, bro, like that's crazy. You know what I mean? So yeah, but that was the That was the movie. That was the move right there. Um, what do you say? Who was it where one guy was losing and the guy hits one good hit off of points, and the guy, now this is really cool picture. I'm not sure. I don't know. You got to kind of explain that a little bit better. Because I'm like, but yeah, like it was that was one of those things, man. But like, it's a lot of good moments like that. It's a lot of even Max's it's cool, man. I'm just trying to figure out what moment you're talking about though, because it's so many crazy moments that like in MMA overall that were just
Hey, Fred,
nuts.
really quick, can you hear me?
So
It's a lot of even Max's
Fred, can you hear me?
I was gonna say Charles, I think your reverb is like I'm hearing your reverb
Hey,
through the.
Fred, really quick, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah,
Okay.
I can
There's a
I can hear
very
you.
huge
Yes, I can
delay,
hear
but
you.
we're just gonna have to rock with it.
Yeah, you're
Okay. There's a very huge delay, but we're just gonna have to rock with it.
okay. All right, that's cool. So yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
just like a weird delay. Um, Physical copies of the series.
No, my device
Click the
had
link in my
overheated,
bio
so that's
on
why I had to like
Instagram
cool it
and
off.
Device had overheated, so that's why I had to cool it off.
okay. All right, that's cool. Yeah, like your device is like usually kind of on some. I think you need to just have a permanent fan on your device. Spooky Stabby. So
But no,
you
this
can
is
pick
my
it up if you
iPod.
check the link in my
This is my
bio.
But no,
iPod
this is my iPod. I'm actually this is my
that I'm actually
iPod.
filming off of. But like I have like the Twitch off of my actual regular phone,
Okay,
so that's
cool.
why.
Like I have like the Twitch off
Because
of my
they don't even
make
make
iPods
iPods
anymore.
anymore.
Yeah, I know they don't.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
So, why did it do that? Why did it do the thing? Okay. Um, what the crap?
Ooh, Zong Bros
Okay,
are on. What's good?
there we go. But no, like, oh snap, Zombros. By the way, Zombros, thank you for you know, doing all the stuff that you do. Here's a little. We're working on a banner right now that we're gonna have at other conventions. But here is a little taste of the banner. I've made some changes to it though, but like not on this. But this is like the raw image of it. But Zombros actually did this banner of of the characters from Scrap. So went through and made some definitely like a couple like little tweaks to it, but it's coming along. So this is like just a little something I was messing around with on like making the
Okay.
characters because we were trying to put together like a little promo thing for the upcoming cons that we do have, and
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So it's pretty dope. Thank you, Spooky Stabby. You know we've been working like a lot on like making really good characters and stuff like that. But definitely shout out
Oh
to
yeah.
yeah, shout out to Zombros and everything that they do. And obviously shout out to Charles Stewart as he's pretty much laying out this particular scene, which I don't want to explain it, but I just will say this quick thing though. This bike that he's making, um, in the
Oops.
original script that I had, it was just a plain ass electric bike. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, "Nah, bro, we gotta be better than
We
that."
can't have
And
that.
so
No.
he pretty much came up with like this whole design and all of this. So like, yeah, it was
We can't have that.
yeah, he was like, "Nah, we gotta be better than that." So this is
Well,
you
plus, like in
watching
the
him
script,
work
if you
right
don't
now, and
remember the way
this
that
is slick.
Shannon says it, she
So
says, "Wait, is this
you
supposed to
know,
be a bike?"
but yeah, that's what's up. Uh,
Yeah. Well, plus, like in the script, if you don't remember, the way that Shannon says this, she says, "Wait, is this supposed to be a bike?"
yeah, yeah, she did say that. Yeah, she did say that, and like, and that was the thing, because like I said, I was just thinking, you know, what's a logical thing that she could get, like, that would be something that would be expensive enough to be repossessed, but not like something that would be like not noticeable. But then I was like, you know what? Screw it. We don't have to like the laws don't apply here. Let's do something crazy.
No,
And like you came up with this idea and you were like,
not
yo,
in comics.
this is what's up. So yeah. Um but
No,
I'm trying to think.
not in comics.
Yeah. But Spooky Stabby, back to what you were saying. Like I said, go back to if you look at my bio, npccomics.com is the site where you can buy the books physically right now. They're having like they're doing like it might take a little bit of time to get you the books to you, but we can get them to you. I've just been working with them on like trying to get more of a pipeline thing going to where we can like get books faster out to people. Especially when issue 6 drops. Like I want to kind of get books out faster. Um, let's see. He gets one hit after losing most of the match, but instead of using that opening to get more hits off, he points at the guy he is fighting. Oh, you know what? I think Squiggles, what you talking about? It might be the Nick Diaz fight. It might be the Nick Diaz fight where he fought Leon Edwards. So there's an image of or no, it's not Nick Diaz, it's Nate Diaz. But there's an image of Nate Diaz basically pointing at Leon Edwards, and like because basically how that fight went was Nate Diaz got a fight against Leon Edwards, and um, to I'll give you a backstory on the Diaz boys in a second, but like Nate Diaz, he gets this fight with Leon Edwards, and the fight goes like all 5 rounds, and for 4 of those 5 rounds, basically like Nate is getting pieced up. He's getting hit with all sorts of shots and everything like that. And Leon is just cooking him. You know what I'm saying? And then for whatever reason, um, in like the 5th round with like a minute left, he basically he cracks Leon Edwards, and Leon Edwards is like basically stumbling and doing the chicken dance, and like Nate points and laughs at him, you know, and basically he points and laughs at him and it was like a minute left in the fight, and then like basically like Nate realizes, oh shit, this is my time to like actually beat him up, and then he runs out of time, and he loses the fight or whatever. But yeah, that was the thing. So, but to explain the story of the Diaz boys, um, basically the Diaz boys are they are these really these really just hard nosed fighters, man. Like they're really good at jujitsu, they're really good at boxing, but the funny thing about them is the fact that like they lose a lot of fights, but people love them anyway. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's kind of a weird thing about that, but like and it's because they really come to fight. They really come to get scrappy with you. But like the weird thing about the Diaz boys is the Diaz boys would probably win like every fight in human existence if there were no time limit to fights. You know what I'm saying? Because for whatever reason, I I don't know how to explain this, but like they don't really start fighting you until like the 4th or 5th round of the fight. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Scotty? Um, but nah, like they don't start fighting you until like the 4th or 5th round of any fight that they're in, and basically like it's just weird, man. Like I don't understand it. These like I don't know if they still do it anymore, but they used to do like endurance races. So their thing was like always like cardio. You know what I'm saying? Like they had immense amounts of cardio, and which is funny because they're like notoriously known for like smoking weed and stuff like that, and but like they do immense amounts of cardio. They used to do these like endurance those like decathlon things where it's like you ride a bike like 50 miles and then run like 15 miles or something like that, and then
No,
like
thank you.
like
Not me.
swim like another 10 miles or something. It was crazy. They do those. You know what I'm saying? They do those types of things. Like I don't know if they do them anymore, but like I know back in the day they used to do them all the time. You know what I'm saying? That was like their thing. But because of that, they would have like immense amounts of cardio. You know what I'm saying? Where they would just fight forever. You know what I mean? And so, you know, And I think people have said like in their like when they've sparred with them like in training, it was just like once you get to about like the sixth or seventh round, like when everybody starts slowing down, they start turning on and they start speeding up and they just like they're fighting at a ridiculous pace that like no like a lot of people can't stop. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is fights aren't that long. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got most of these fights are like 3 round fights, are not championship fights. So if you get a championship fight, it's a 5 round fight. So like, obviously you think like you're gonna wake up, these dudes wake up and fight in like the fifth round, and you've already lost 4 rounds. It's not like you got crazy knockout power. It's just, so they lose a lot of fights, but people still love them because they talk so much trash and they're like they're very hard up. One of my characters is like loosely based on like the Diaz's. This character here, Nana. So she's loosely based on like kind of that Diaz philosophy. You know what I mean? Of like being just like a really really good boxer. You know what I'm saying? But like she basically is like she got that hood in her. You know what I mean? And so she came from like kind of a hard life and stuff like that. So that's kind of a thing.
Oops.
But yeah, Anana, but the Diaz boys, like, they're very interesting. They're very interesting characters, man. Like, I think Nick Diaz has a fight coming up soon. I can't remember against who though. I think it might be Tony Ferguson. But yeah, yeah. Like, are you Spooky Savvy? You like the Nana? Yeah, yeah. Nana
Well,
is
you said Tony Ferguson, right?
yeah. His name is Tony. The guy
Okay,
that
I thought you said Tony Perkins for a second. I was like,
no, no.
no.
No, no, but
Okay.
Anana is surprisingly becoming like I'm realizing that she's like kind of becoming a fan favorite for a lot of people. You know what I mean? So and she ain't even showed up in the books yet. She shows up in issue 6, uh, but like but yeah, like people have been really eyeing her a lot. So it's like between her and then like Shannon's best friend
Zakai.
Zakaya. You know what I'm saying? Like those are like the fan favorites. All right, Squiggles, man, I see you. But but yeah, like it's crazy. So it's been kind of cool, like kind of seeing that. One of the like when we go to conventions, one of the images that like always like we've been selling posters, and let me see if I can find it here. There is a poster of issue 6, or not issue 6, but issue 7, and that is this right here. This poster has like probably sold more than like this probably been like the best selling poster that I've like had. You know what I mean? Other than like the schoolgirl poster with Shannon and Zakaya, this poster is like surprisingly like selling a lot to people. So and then if you can check out the little detail there, that's
Wait, which one?
this poster here, the issue 7 cover with Inanna like giving the middle finger, and like
Oh, okay.
you got Shannon in the reflection getting ready to punch her. So yeah, so yeah, a lot of people have been liking this like a lot. So I've been pretty surprised by that. And like this idea actually came from I think it was a cover of a Wolverine comic, and basically like the idea came when I was looking at somebody posted a cover of a Wolverine comic, and it was like Wolverine, but like he had his claws, he had his
Oh, and the
claws
Hulk
up, and then
coming
like
through.
Hulk was
Yeah.
in the reflection of the claws, and I was like, damn, how could I do that? And then like this was the idea I came up with, and like I sent it over to my homie Daniel Jacob in France, and like we had to work a lot to get this to work, but because for real, it wasn't working at first, and like Charles can attest to that. Like it was just like it was the early images was not it. You know what I'm saying? And then like I had to talk to another artist friend of mine. He was like, you need to do this, this, and this to it to make it work. And yeah, it was a thing, but it came out pretty good, man. So I can't wait till issue 7 comes out, and then that's the cover. Like, I thought, I was kind of afraid, like, like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to sell this cover, or I'm gonna be able to sell this poster or whatever, because like she giving the middle finger and whatever, and like I was just like kind of scared for that for a minute, but then like people been on it. You know what I'm saying? People just have been on this poster, like all right, cool. You know what I mean? So yeah, but yeah, that's the thing. Um, I have not been to LA to sell the books yet, but I am going to the Bay Area next week. I'll be in the Bay Area next week, hanging out with a friend of mine. We're gonna be working on screenplay stuff and doing some writing stuff. But I think there is a convention in the Bay Area that I'm gonna be at. So I mean, that's honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna be at there like selling books or anything, but it'll be a thing. But I do want to go to LA though. I haven't been to LA in some years, and I've never been to LA to sell the comics. So um, that is something that I want to do though. So that'll be a thing that I eventually do at some point. I don't know when, but it'll be at some point. So yeah, and if the rumors are yeah, yeah, oh yeah, I know, because LA is like 8 hours from the Bay Area, so I already know that's a whole different thing. But I mean, I got people in LA, man. I just need to figure out like how to get there. Allegedly, and this is, don't quote me on this, but allegedly, like a convention that I've been going to more frequently in the last couple years. Apparently, like after this year, they're gonna move to LA, which I hope not because it'll be harder for me to
Put
get
them
out
on
there.
blast. Put them on blast.
Yeah,
No, I'm just
yeah,
kidding.
DreamCon. I hope they don't. I hope they stay in Texas. I hope it's just I really hope that they stay in Texas, man. But I understand like if they trying to blow up, I mean they already like make a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but what's making a lot of money? There's never enough money you can make apparently. But you
There
know,
is actually. There actually is.
there is, but don't tell them that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like because I know the reason they're if the rumors are true about DreamCon moving to LA like next year, then it's basically just because they can get more celebrities and they can get more celebrities and like basically run a lot more stuff. You know what I'm saying? And like it's really about getting the celebrities. But that kind of sucks because I'm like, damn, because it would be nothing to get those celebrities there because they're already in LA. But like at the same time, for little guys like us, like it's gonna be harder for us to get out there and like maneuver and do things like that. You know what I mean? So
Listen, if a con is worth it, I'm gonna make it happen.
I'm gonna
That's
make
one
it
of the
happen
things that
too. But like
yeah, like
it's just gonna be a little bit harder. You know what I mean?
ROI really applies to a lot of conventions. That's how I think about it. But not everybody might have that mindset.
Right. Right. So.
Because I admit there's cons that I'll try. Like for instance, I'm gonna be going to a convention that I heard nothing but amazing things about. Matter of fact, I'm so grateful that I got into a Heroes Con that's gonna be happening like in a couple of weeks. But
Hmm.
the truth is, this is my first time, and I wonder how I do. But I've heard so many good things that even if I didn't do well or decent enough, I still find it valuable enough to go to because I hear this is the convention to go to, especially if you're selling original art, which is basically a dying form of like fandom in some sense because one, I get is expensive, but two, more people are more moving to more the print side of things, like just being able to purchase prints and keychains and stickers, things that are very easily accessible, but also possibly disposable. Not to say that people are trying to dispose of them, but it's like it's that kind of mindset versus like $1,000 like splash page of like Spider-Man swinging through New York.
Right. Right. Exactly. So. Yeah, that is a thing. Like, I've been surprised at how many prints people have been selling and whatnot. So that has been a thing.
Oh no, like that's literally like I had to change my whole game when I found out like, what? I mean, I was selling prints before, but then like I leaned into it heavily when I realized that I could be making a lot more like passive income just sitting at the table
Hmm.
if people are interested to buy what I got. But
Right.
also, yeah, it's like not everybody, especially with the younger folk who come into these shows can
Hmm.
like drop like 50, 100, $2,000 on like a piece.
Right. Yeah, you get. I mean, yeah, if you get one of them, I mean that's rare though, you know. But they exist. It's just they don't exist.
Yeah, well, they exist in our bracket and up because I'm not gonna lie, it's
Right.
like the
No,
people
it's
who
it's
are
true.
having disposable
So
income and make that money. It's like
yeah,
it's
it's true
us.
because like usually what you have now is you have like basically a lot of people that are like usually 20 and well I'm gonna say the teens that are like people that are like 25 and under are not really spending a lot of money. They'll spend money more on trinkets, and if they can buy
Yeah,
like a or they can buy like a whole series, then they'll spend like they'll do it like that. They'll be like, okay, I'll buy this whole series because I can get it all right now. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Um, but like
And that's another thing too, and that really comes from the, and not saying it like as a diss or anything, but like the anime culture, the anime consumption culture. It's like,
right
and I
because
get
they want
it.
to
It
binge it
makes
all.
a lot of sense. It's like, yeah, I got like $40. Like, how about I buy this entire series that's already out and ready
Yeah,
versus like spending like, you know, $10 per whatever.
right, exactly. So that is a big thing. And then also they will definitely buy like toys and stickers and stuff like that. I've always had people that come up and buy stickers. But more recently, one thing I'm gonna try to do is try to get people to get toys because I have these little Zakiya toys. Hopefully coming soon. So that will be a thing. You know. But there's
Man, nobody cares about toys anymore. Did you not see Toy Story 4?
right. But yeah, no, like I'm gonna try to see if that works a little bit because I've been talking to a few people and I'm getting a good vibe from like what some people have been saying about like doing little figurines like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, this might be a thing. You know what I mean? I might be able to get these off. You know what I mean? So that'll be something. That'll be something in addition to everything else. You know what I mean? So um, just hoping that works out and hoping that like that does a thing. But yeah, like you said, like basically 25 and under, they'll buy like they want to buy a whole series or they'll just buy a poster, they'll just buy stickers. Um, 25 and up usually will buy they'll buy the bigger stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
usually if you're at a con, basically if you're at a con and you're like over 30, you got a lot of disposable income. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not with family, you got a lot of disposable income. You know, because like
If you're not with family, that's true. Yeah.
yeah, if you're not there with like your family, like small children or something like that, then chances are you got like a lot of disposable income, and you coming for specific pieces that you can't find nowhere else, which means you're gonna be more apt to buy posters, which means you're gonna be more apt to buy like you know toys or trinkets or things like that. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna be more apt to buy that stuff. You know, and so
Yeah.
that is kind of a thing. So yeah, but yeah, it's definitely kind of what's up though. So I don't know. Eventually I'm gonna play this game.
Definitely looking for the Blurred Con.
Man, I'm really excited about BlurCon. This will be my first time going, so you know I'm uh I'm super excited about it. So yeah, we'll see what happens with it, man. Like I don't know. I don't know. I got nothing but high hopes for that shit. So that'll be really fun. Let's see.
Oh, I guess I'm feeling lazy and stuff. Yeah.
Mm-mm. Ooh, ooh. Do, 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 do,
So it's funny,
do.
like now that X-Men is off, only other thing that I guess looking forward to or thinking about watching, or not thinking about, I am gonna watch it, but looking forward to watching when it eventually comes out is Deadpool. And
Yeah.
then after that,
I mean, my
well,
adventures with
okay, I guess I
Superman.
take that back. There are other things. There are things like House of the Dragon and whatnot. But it's like, yeah, this year is definitely more slimmer than
Yeah,
normally would
my
be.
adventures with Superman came back apparently. So
Oh, really?
yeah, yeah.
I
That
never seen it.
apparently that came back like last night. I have to check it though, but I'm pretty sure it came back last night. So I'm
Okay.
gonna I'll probably like end up watching it like after we get off. So
Oh, so this reminds me of something else as well. I was gonna say, but I forgot. I literally had it on the tip of my tongue. I was gonna ask you about, but yeah. Usually when I've been like working too, I've just been finding stuff that I can just binge, like bingeable stuff. Like, truth be told, so I don't know if I told you this, but it's like I actually never watched The Wire when it came out. Well, for several reasons. One, it's like I never had HBO when I was growing up. My parents didn't have that subscription, so
mhm.
it makes sense. But two, um, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like I saw like I guess like maybe clips, like out of context clips, whatever, but mainly from like the first season, and I
Mhm.
was like, oh, okay, man, check it out because I'm into Law and Order. Then when I started watching it, that first season, man, listen, if you are not a diehard person to like just go hard in the paint and just like commit to something and trust through it, I was about to quit like halfway through like
That's
the first
how
season. It was like
that's
this,
how it
this is
was
all
with
right.
the first two episodes of The Wire. I was like, I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know what's up
yeah, I
with
was like,
this.
this is all right,
Yeah, and then
but
like I watched it and I was like, oh snap, this is what's up. It was like this.
it literally took the second season, but it's like you have to get through the first season. And the
Yeah.
only reason why I didn't just immediately stop after everything was because, again, I committed. But at the end of the first season, that's when like Kima goes undercover and she gets shot. It's like
Right.
okay, now things ramped up, and then from there it's like okay, bet things good.
Mhm.
Because and I literally looked at like what separated because like as I watched like stuff whether like casually in the background or attentively paying attention because I want to learn how to write too as well. I'm like trying to figure okay so what was it that like made it because the what's it called the acting was pretty good like throughout the whole series. It's not like the acting took a dip, but it's like what was it? It was like definitely the writing, but it's like why specifically? Because it was written by the same people, so just kind of like trying to analyze it, kind of like break it down and whatnot. And it
Right.
just came down to like compelling stories because like the
Mhm.
characters like they have some good backstories and everything, but it's just like the compellingness of like what they're doing, how they're doing it, and what they're working through, and obviously like character development and change. Like, are they going through something? McNulty goes through like a season of like different attitudes and whatnot. He's like, yeah, this like cop who's like kind of like an a hole to some
Mhm.
degree, but he's also like this like you know never let go kind of like dog bites on a target, never kind of let go mentality.
Right.
But then spoiler alert for the people who haven't seen it like I did at first, like when Stringer dies, I was like, oh snap, subverted expectations because you want to see this dude get bust, but he gets
Yeah,
killed.
you want to see it happen, and
And
then
you
Stringer
see,
gets got, and you're like, oh
yeah,
wait,
I
you
know
know?
it's like yeah, it's kind of like when you when you watch Game of Thrones and like you see Joffrey Baratheon get poisoned. That's how he dies. It's like,
Right.
oh, that's not as satisfying.
Right.
I wanted to see this guy get tortured.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah,
So yeah, it's super interesting in that regard. So, but yeah, that's why like The Wire. It took me a little bit to like the first couple episodes. It took me a little bit to get with it, but then like once I got with it, like I was like, holy shit, this is it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And but like the thing about The Wire is after you watch all the seasons, for me, it soured me on like police procedurals. It like
Really?
yeah, it just made me be like, I can't watch a police procedural anymore.
Okay, so here's the thing though. Okay, so let's talk about this because like I've told you before like or no I don't know if I've ever told you this like I started watching like the first time I actually started watching police procedurals like
Mhm.
I guess like continuously and almost religiously was
Mhm.
like when I was really young actually, and it started because like so my on my dad's side of the family, he's from Baltimore or whatnot,
Mhm.
and so my great grandmother when she was still living, me and my brother used to spend the night over at her place, and being an elderly person, like I wasn't really interested in like what was going on in like the house, whatever. It was fine, but it was kind of boring. I'd rather play video games, but there's none there, blah blah blah. Anyway, I remember one night like I couldn't go to sleep and I was really agitated, so I went downstairs and my great grandmother, she's watching like Law and Order, and I'm talking about the OG, like the literally no anything after that, just Law and Order, the first series.
Yeah.
I was like, oh snap! And she's like, hey baby, come sit down. I was like, what's wrong? I was like, can't go to see. You want to watch TV with me? I was like, yeah, sure. And like the first episode we're watching is like this dude gets like stabbed in an alley. He's like, oh jeez, and then goes from there as far as like how did it lead to that and whatnot. And I just remember from that point on, that was a bonding moment for me and her. But
Hmm.
also, I felt like, okay, I'm liking this. I'm liking these police procedurals. So like, I've been a diehard Law and Order fan for like from a very long time. But honestly, for me, there weren't any other police procedurals that I kind of like latched onto because afterwards I was like, some of these I don't even consider police procedurals. They're just kind of like police dramas, so to
Right.
speak. And Law and Order does have drama, but it's like I couldn't get into Hawaii Five O, I couldn't get into CIS, like any of them, Miami, whatever. And it just kind of felt like, yeah, this ain't on the same level. But that was just me personally. Until they did the Chicago series of things. So they did like Chicago Law, or not Chicago Law, but Chicago PD.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was like, okay, bet I like this. Like this got this like hard edge, and it's produced by Dick Wolf, so I'm down for it.
Yeah. Dick Wolf is like the most like freaking billionaire producer.
Yeah, like literally, when his name is on, it's like makes sense.
Yeah. It's like that's one of
They
those.
even brought back
That's one of those
I'm trying
things
to
like
think of his
you
name.
almost question if Dick Wolf is a real person because it's like this can't be possible. Like you can't have like these shows that have been on for like 20 years. You know what I mean? 20 plus years.
Well, it's funny because I think at one point he was doing a lot of the writing, but then like he kind of phased out of that. Yeah, he's just like you see him as a producer
Right.
credited
Right.
on these shows. Because it was like, man, like is this guy like I'm trying to think of the Stephen King is like he just keeps writing no matter what and just keep producing. It's like no, he's just a producer.
Yeah. So I don't know.
But anyway, yeah, going back to the whole like as we started from like the Wire, yeah, like and that's the thing too, because like around that time it was that, and think I think Sopranos was still on at the time when it was coming out.
Probably so. Yeah, The
Yeah, so
Wire
it's
and The
like those are kind
Sopranos
of like
were
HBO's like
on
kind
around
of
the same time.
premiere stuff, and then until because literally until like Breaking Bad came out, which obviously wasn't it's not HBO, but it's like there wasn't any premiere like television for a while like that to that level, or at least that I can think of.
Yeah. 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 I can't think of anything like because HBO was it for a while on that stuff. So
Yeah.
so I don't know. But yeah, man, The Wire and see that's the thing because I like it's like basically from what I can gather The Wire and Breaking Bad are the two shows that have this ridiculous cult following to where
Yeah.
they people who watch those shows, if you're in those cults, you can never they first of all they have to have everybody watch the show. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, after it's all said and done, it's no other show can ever match this show. So Wire fans and Breaking Bad fans are are they're two people that are they're two types of people that are probably at odds with each other. If you ask them what the greatest TV show is of all time, you know, then you'll have them pretty much kind of at odds with each other.
You know what? I almost feel like The Sopranos and Breaking Bad, even though they were a little bit out of like the same time era by distance, I feel like those ones that had the most comparison because obviously you have like two shows that are about a main character who is basically a just a bad person. They're
Mm-hmm.
bad people. Tony Soprano and Walter White are both monsters,
Yeah.
and yet they're not tag the protagonists, and they're written in such a way where it's like we sympathize with them, but we
Mm-hmm.
definitely do not agree with what they're doing.
Right.
Oh yeah, we can't turn our eyes away from them.
Yeah,
So
you
like
can't.
I feel like they have more of that versus The Wire. It's like even though most of the cops there are like again like a-holes and just not really like I mean then again that's kind of that cop culture. It's not like you ever have like a nice cop, especially from Baltimore. But it's
Right.
like yeah, they're not like the Superman esque version of
Yeah,
you know
I think that's the other
personality
thing about
quality.
that's the other thing about SVU and all those shows like that is those cops on the surface,
They're likable, or
they're
at
they're
least
they're
like the
very
main ones.
likable,
Like
and they're presented as they're likable, and they're presented as infallible. You know what I'm saying?
well,
And I'm
yeah,
not.
well, okay, and still okay. I will say this, when they brought Ice Cube or Ice T in there, like I remember the first couple of seasons, like they had him where it's like, okay, he's the cop that obviously yeah he's gonna follow the rules, but at the same time he'll kind of like figure a way to kind of like uh fudge things just a little bit. But obviously, and they even brought up in one episode I thought was great. Is like he knows not to like get himself in trouble like outwardly because he can't get away with certain things like and it wasn't even trying to make it a racial thing, but like Benson, Detective Benson and Stabler, they do all sorts of things. Like literally Stabler, he'll be like, okay, I'm going to slightly hang this dude like out of a window where no one can see, but it's like just to kind of get the information because like he kidnapped someone. It's like yeah, you so many protocols and everything would be broken. You would get IAB involved, but and he's had that many times. That was like the running gag. It's like yeah, this man has had like internal yeah, what is it? Internal Bureau Affairs, always involved in his stuff,
Hmm.
and he's still employed to this day in the show canon. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty wild. So, oh yeah, oh Obsidian P, what's going on? What's happening? So yeah, my bad. I didn't. I just checked y'all in the chat. Uh, hopefully y'all doing all right. So but yeah, like I said, man, we just in here kicking it, man, today. So you know, trying to do more of these streams on Sundays because they're a lot easier to do. Especially with
yeah.
your schedule.
Sundays is people chilling, so you
Yeah,
might as
we
well come
all
in,
we all pretty
put
much
your
kicking
phone
it.
on, and chill with us.
Yep, yep.
Although I will admit, like, there's some Sundays where I feel like pressure, or not pressure, but I guess yeah, like the guilt or pressure uh, imposed on myself for like getting things like my room cleaned up or
Mhm.
just being able to organize a little more. Because especially doing art, like my whole room, like I feel embarrassed at times, like wanting to like even like admit what it looks like, but
Oh
I got
yeah,
paper everywhere, materials everywhere.
yeah. Sometimes it be like that. So I'm I'm very much like I guess like my office definitely needs to be fixed and cleaned and stuff. So um, but that's gonna be a thing for like later I guess. And then I thought it was gonna storm crazy today, but I guess it didn't. It didn't.
Yeah, when you said that, it's like your power would
Yeah,
go
cause
low. I
like
was like,
no,
what's
cause
happening?
what had happened was now basically like I had a thing where like when I was texting you and I was making the food or whatever, like the storm was kicking up, and then like when the storm was kicking up, our power started flickering, and I was like, oh shit,
Oh, okay.
what I'm saying? What's going on? Then next thing I know, like power flickered for a second, then never flickered again, and then I looked outside and I mean it's still cloudy, but it's not storming, so
Hmm.
I'm like, all right,
Okay.
whatever, I'll take it. So yeah, I will definitely take that.
All right.
And what is this? Is this page 17?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
I mean, truth be told, what I realized is that and I got to figure out how to like not only one do it faster but do it more efficiently. But it's like get through all the pages like to do the rough pencils, especially since I'm like inking it. It'd
Hmm.
be one thing if I was just like doing the pencils for someone else to ink, but that's like a whole other thing that I don't know if we're trying to venture into eventually. But that's a separate conversation. But
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
definitely a
when
separate
I do
conversation.
the pencils. Yeah, when
Yeah.
I do the pencils, like I try to basically just get like the rough draft, like basically like the thumbnails out to you to kind of approve and just like get the general sense of things. But then I realized like, okay, but I kind of need a little more detail for myself to basically go over and know exactly what I'm gonna do versus just kind of freeball it. And one, I've been trying to see if like, well, can I do that? Because I know like when I look at like artists like Jorge Jimenez or some of these other artists who are digital, like it seems like they're just doing that. Like their pencils are super loose and they just go at it with the inks. I'm like, I don't know how to do that. I need to figure that out. But until then, just being able to get all my pencils done and then just ready to go to ink. But that's what I did, or I normally do. But like I guess because like I was trying to get to like the inks on some of these pages, I forgot that there were certain details specifically with like motorcycles and cars and whatever
Hmm.
that like I basically needed to like finish, and not have like uh, roughed out basically. Like right here, like are two, well, technically three panels that I need to like finish completing these motorcycles
Okay.
because it's like a blend of like stuff that I've like got I downloaded for like certain 3D models, but then I'm also like adding different things, so it's like not just like a one for one copy because it's supposed to be like obviously like a little bit of like the reference to the Acura bike, but also like a actual rideable bike. So
Right.
it's kind of a blend of like a futuristic bike, but also a realistic bike.
Right. Definitely. So. Yeah. Uh, 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 All right. Yeah, I just saw spills in there. Oh snap.
Yeah, you called it, man. I definitely have to keep this fan on because I didn't know if like it would be like an issue as far as like if people can like hear that fan. I don't know if you hear the fan in the
Nah, I
background,
can't.
but
Well, I
that's
can't
definitely
hear it.
cooling off my
I'm hearing I'm
device.
hearing all your audio through my phone anyway. So, cause
Okay.
I turned down the audio for that was on Twitch, so like I'm not hearing much of anything.
Okay, so you're just hearing the audio through your phone, which is on Instagram.
Right.
Okay, bet. Okay,
Yeah.
because that's the same thing I did. Yeah, like I turned the audio down on my Twitch phone. I was honestly thinking about getting another phone just for the sake of possibly because eventually this iPod will, I guess, die or crap out or give out eventually. Because again, these it's crazy to think that like we lived through an era where it's like because the iPod was essentially the last remnant of like a personal like basically like a CD player. An
Yeah.
iPod was like the latest version and last version of a CD player. But now with our phones, like that's just obsolete.
Yeah. Yeah. You think about it, like all of the things that we like in the last 30 years that we had like stuff that was like a convenience thing. Um, it was just
Are
one of
now
those.
less
It was,
convenient.
yeah, like they've all been like changed. You know what I'm saying? Like so all the stuff that's like it's all been put into like the phone. You know what I mean? Like when you think
Yeah, your
about
phone
like
is literally your everything. I saw a graphic where it's like literally your phone is a computer, a CD player, a television, a video game console, a typewriter, just like to go in. Oh, wait, a flashlight, um, a grocery store ordering system. Like
yeah,
just so many. Literally, it's like there is
yeah,
nothing
yeah. It's
that
like
your phone. Yeah.
it really is everything. So you know, like yeah, like you said, your phone is your all right. Like aside from being a phone, it's the camera, it's the yellow
Yep, it's
pages,
a camera. Yep.
it's the freaking
It's a map. Yep.
it's a map. You know, it's your stereo. You know what I'm saying? It's your it's your phone book. It's everything. So it's just wild that like we're in that era that's a thing now. So
I have this funny idea. I'll have to tell you like off stream, but it's like, in line of like this conversation.
yeah, and
Maybe we
Obsidian,
should do it as a comic.
yeah, Obsidian, like, yeah, I do miss dedicated music devices. It's like the Walkman still makes stuff. Like I kind of sort of miss
Yeah.
that, but like now I'm like because I'm still very and it's crazy to think that this is old school, but I'm still very like let me get like the MP3s of an album and put them like all on my phone. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to stream
Your
anything.
what?
Like yeah. So I want to get like I like basically I'll go and download like an album and then like I'll put it like all on my phone. Like I'll put it all on my SD
Oh, on
card.
your phone.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
I can't be having a lot of data on my phone. I feel
Yeah,
like.
cuz I don't want to stream anything. I don't want to stream like playlists. You know what I'm saying? Like I like I'm very weird in that aspect cuz like I realize that most people are just like, "Oh, I'll just go to Spotify. Oh, I'll just
Yeah.
go to YouTube." And I'm like, "No, I want to still have like control over it cuz in my mind I'm always thinking like what happens when I can't access like when I'm like having something on airplane mode and I can't like access the
Oh
internet,
yeah,
and I'm like,
that's a legit concern in that regard because yeah, it's like if you are without streaming, then you don't have it basically.
right, and so I'm like, I don't want to have everything in the cloud, so it's like I want to still be able to own like the music that I have and then be able to play it, and then now not only do I have it, but I never have to worry about commercials or anything crazy like that, and it's just a thing.
Yeah,
So, you know, but
that is
yeah.
funny because like I was actually talking to one of my homies, the church here I go to, and like
Hmm.
we were just like reminiscing. Oh yeah, we had a barbecue back on Friday, and like we were just like cooking and grilling whatever, and I was like talking to him and another dude about like so you remember like the Lupe album or like the not I think was it an EP or I forget like if what was that? It was a mixtape. Sorry, it was the mixtape he put out before Lasers. It was Enemy of the State. Do you remember that
Yeah,
joint?
I remember the animated state mixtape.
Yeah. So literally, we were talking about that, and he was like, "Man, I'm about to go play that right now." And I was like, "Yeah." And then like later on that night, I got in the car. I was like, I want to play that as well." And then I played it through YouTube because again, conveniency. But the way that the mixtape is done, like every song just literally like slides into the next song. And I love albums that do that. I
Hmm.
really wish more albums did that. Just but the only annoying thing is if you try to listen to that joint whole without like any skips, just like continuously through, especially if you got like a no skip album. And I feel like for the most part, that's a no skip album right there. Like everything is fun and enjoyable. But when it gets to the commercials, like it just kills the energy.
Yep.
The minute it transitions to the next song, it's like, oh, we got a commercial or two. It kills it immediately, and it's so frustrating. And
Yeah.
both Spotify and YouTube, they up on it. It's like, yes, sir. You gonna get that premium yet? It's like, nope. Just like I said 1,000 other times before.
Yeah.
Nope. Until you just want to take it away from me wholesale. Nah, you're not gonna get that premium out of me.
Right. But see, that's why like if it's some songs if it's a song I really like, then I'm just like, yeah, let me just put this on MP3. Let me get the MP3 download. Let me go ahead and put it on my phone and then put it on my
Yeah.
playlist because I have a massive SD card specifically for
Okay, see,
this.
that's the solution. Because I'm about to say, it's like the problem with that is that then you run out of space.
Yeah, no, I have a mat like, and that's, but see, that's a problem I'm about to run into now because like I want to upgrade my phone, and then the most recent phone that has like an SD card slot is like it's like a Samsung Ultra or something like it's like a Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra, and
Oh, okay.
that's the only one that has that's the most recent phone that has an SD card slot because everybody else has gotten rid of them. Like all the
Oh,
other.
you know what? Yeah, because I just noticed that like a few months ago. Like, so I basically got the iPhone 15. And
Yeah.
as much as I kind of like kicked and complained about like never getting an iPhone, eventually I was like, I got one. It's like, okay, I actually really like a lot of conveniences. Now, the last phone that I had like the XR, the iPhone 10 plus whatever it was, and I was, obviously outdated, but I enjoyed it. And I remember when I went to the Philippines, the vacay, whatnot, like last year and the year before that, it was very convenient just for me to pop that SD card out and, or not the SD card, but the SIM card, but either way. Yeah, now I can't do that with my card or my new phone. They don't have a slot,
Right.
and it's so frustrating because like, I guess I hadn't even read up on it fully, but I guess if I wanted to like change like Sims or whatever, it's like now like a digital thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but like kind of like you were saying, it's like less control.
Yeah. And that's really what it is now. So like that's the kind of crappy thing about it all. You know what I mean? So I'm like, damn, this would be the most recent phone I'll have that doesn't have an SD card slot, or the most up to date phone with no SD card slot, and that's gonna tell me that basically like after this, you know what I'm saying, that might be it. And what do I do
Yeah,
then?
basically.
You know? And so I just hate that idea. I really hate that idea of us being in that era where it's just like, oh no, you have to do everything streaming now. It has to be in the cloud. It has
Oh
to
yeah,
be this.
as much as like I used to like tease one of my techie friends who was like, yeah, he was like, this was like probably like 7 years ago. He was always like, dude, it's like streaming. I was like, yeah, it's so convenient. He's like, dude, you know what that means? Or he's like, what? They're basically gonna have control of everything. It's like technically you won't own anything anymore. It's like so these guys just have access to it, but then they
No.
can literally pull it if they want.
Yeah.
And I was like, whatever.
Because think
And
about
then
so
now
many.
it's
There's
becoming
so
a
many
thing.
games.
Now it's literally in live existence.
Yeah, there are so many games now that you don't have access to anymore. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
games, movies, TV, like,
yeah,
oh my goodness, like, don't get me started. Okay, so like, I guess it doesn't matter if I talk about it on here or whatever at this point. But basically, the whole milestone thing, the initiative was great. Then they had that little the series that they did, basically like kind of um, chronicling the milestone journey, and then
hmm
obviously like a culmination. So like, the people were part of the milestone program. So me and like 23 other people, and it was great. They had a documentary series. It was on HBO Max, and I've watched it several times. It's great. But to this day, they no longer have it on there.
yeah.
It was not only pulled, but it was put nowhere else. It is gone. It is in the ether. You will never see it again.
See, that's what I'm
And I
saying.
don't like that because that says a lot of things for a lot of different reasons. But
hmm
yeah,
So yeah,
it's disgusting. It's sad. It's like literally the things are like, but that used to be there. That was a thing. It's like for them to tell us like, no, it wasn't. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, where can you find it anywhere? It's like I literally watched it. It was like, well, that existed then, it doesn't exist now. It's like it's kind of like when you would try to like find like a very like old school international like movies or TV shows that like nobody really knows about, and it's like there's nowhere to find it. Basically, like at one point you may have been able to find it on the internet, but then it was just like eventually just scrubbed completely.
yep.
It's like you'll never find any. That's so sad. That really
And
saddens me.
you know they
Irritates me
do
at the same
that.
time.
They do that for a number of reasons now. Like, they do it. From what I understand, they do it mainly because like they're just like, okay, we know that like these there are certain like royalties and stuff that they have to pay people,
Okay, the royalties thing. Yeah.
and they're just like, oh, we don't want to pay these people anymore because of X Y Z.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's when this is where you get into situations like that. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, we don't want to pay these people, and because we don't want to pay these people anymore, let's just take this off TV. You know what I mean? And I think that's the crappy thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I understand that concept. I'm very aware, even though I never really watched the Friends. Like I know that like those individuals like were getting paid out the wazoo for like how many times like that series was not only paid, but how many other networks, television programming places like had it and the
oh
availability to stream it. Because literally, it's like it went into syndication, and then after that,
man.
it's literally just like on reruns
Yeah.
for countless generations. Like people who like younger than me who should not know anything about Friends are like, "Oh, I love Friends." Like, how did you watch this?
Yeah. Like, how did you watch this? And then like it'll be the same thing for like living single or something like that. Or just like
Exactly. Yeah. Like the generation that like made Bye Felicia into like a a meme. It's like, bro, you did not watch Friday.
right.
Just be honest. You caught that on the rewatch on BET late at night. But yeah.
Uh, 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 uh. Ba, 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 ba.
Okay, so it's that. Oh my. So what you got going on the rest of this week? Or I guess like when's I guess your next convention?
My next convention is Anime Ohio. That's gonna be in that's gonna be June 21st. So that's gonna be June 21st. But then like after that, it's Blurred and Dream. You know. So
Okay.
yeah, but like those are pretty much the only joints we got. And once I get through Blurred and Dream, I don't know. Like I think I got August. I'm chilling, and then I got Cleveland Gaming Expo in September, and then what else? Oh shoot. So I got Cleveland Gaming Expo in September, and then I think it's like I think Ohio Cincinnati Comic Expo in October, and then after that I don't have anything. That'll be the end of the year.
Okay.
So yeah. Boop boop. Dang it. Bow, 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 bow. Yeah, I'm not gonna beat this. Not
You
gonna
know, I've
beat
been
that
on
at
like a
all.
video game fast for like a hot minute,
I
and
know you
I
have.
don't know when I'm gonna end it. But ever since like the new Assassin's Creed trailer dropped and everything,
Oh
and
snap! We didn't talk about
hype
that.
slash
Have we talked about that
controversy,
at
which
all?
is not any you
We
said
didn't.
what?
We didn't talk about that, did we? The
No, we
Assassin's
didn't.
Creed thing. Oh, okay.
Because like here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't know if I've ever told you, but it's like I played. I think I had a Assassin's Creed Origin. I
Hmm.
played about like maybe 3/4 of it, and then I kind of just stopped. I was like, okay, this is fun, but kind of whatever. And I was never really, honestly, a big Assassin's Creed fan. I was just like, when it first came out, I was like, I don't know why. I was in this like very weird, like, man, I hate Assassin's Creed because they, basically made way for this game and just snuffed Prince of Persia to the side, and all these fans don't know what's really about. It's like you rather have this anyway, stupid guy who can't even control time. But
Right.
anyway, that was my little thing. But then when I checked it out later on, I was like, okay, this is pretty dope. But I did not keep up with like all the iterations, and I was not going to. But I really did want to like at one point wanted to get like the what is it like the Greek version of it? I
Oh,
forgot what they called
Odyssey.
that. It looks really appealing.
Yeah,
But after
Odyssey.
that, I was just like kind of just out of the loop. But yeah, this new one, I was like, okay, snap, I should check this out. And it also brought up another memory of a game that I actually never played or got a chance to play, but I like had it in the back of my head. So I'm definitely gonna get this at some point because it has a black samurai character in there, and it's specifically Guilty Gear. One of
Okay.
the Guilty Gears, I think it was called Genesis or whatever. I forget how to pronounce it, or maybe it's something else. But anyway, they had this like very imposing, scary looking, uh, you know, black dude with like this like kind of Ambu Black Ops mask on, with
Hmm.
dreadlocks and whatnot. And I was like, oh, it's a pretty cool character. And I've seen black characters in like anime esque looking series and whatnot.
Right.
But the thing about it, I remember when it first came out, there was like reports saying, okay, well, this character is obviously kind of like loosely based off of like Yasuke. I was like, oh, that's dope, and I already knew about that even before the Netflix show and all that other stuff. And then obviously, with black culture, we were already like looking at and happy about what's it called Afro Samurai for the
Right.
short stint that it was in the zeitgeist. But anyway, with a lot of the hype and attention that like that trailer got, I actually like heard of everything even without seeing the trailer first. And I was like, oh man, I gotta wait on this. So I sent my little thing on social media for a little bit. But
Hmm.
then I saw the trailer, it's like, oh my goodness, like this just looks amazing. Because I actually never played Ghost of Tsushima, but it's like this is the game that like, okay, if I never played it, this would inspire me to play just other games with that kind of like a
Right.
caliber of quality. So yeah, as much as I really didn't care for like Assassin's Creed as a series, I'm very interested in playing this game when it comes
Yeah,
out.
I'm mildly interested. Uh, Ghost of Tsushima like did a lot for me, so I'm very much like okay, let's if you guys are doing that again, I'm
Let's
not.
dip our toes back in. Let's taste the water a little bit.
Yeah, so because I really like Ghost, like what I mean. I never finished beating it, but I love the game though,
Yeah.
because that was like
That's funny. That's what I hear from a lot of people as well. Is like there are a lot of people haven't finished it, but it's like they give it like just flying colors across the board.
hmm yeah. Yeah, it's an amazing game. Like, I like I said, I absolutely love that game, and I was just like I was really impressed with it. So, watching watching like basically you know the new game, or rather like watching like Assassin's Creed do it. Like, okay, And granted, like here's the funny thing about it all. Like again, I always have to point it out. The people that were mad about Assassin's Creed, like because they're like, oh Yasuke is this, blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, cool. It's like, well, why didn't they have a Japanese guy? It's like, apparently you didn't play Ghost of Tsushima, but like also
Yeah,
there is a
yeah.
Japanese woman who is a ninja, you know, and so
I literally heard that like, or like I saw like a meme. It's like, man, like all these people were complaining. It's like this character in here is so good as a ninja.
that
She needs to be
he
bronze.
disappeared from
She's
the the conversation.
hiding the cut.
Yeah,
Yeah, the conversation just like slid in the cut. It's like, nope, not even
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah. I think that was just absolutely crazy, but it's true though,
Yeah.
because you guys were so focused on the black dude, you totally forgot about like this Japanese ninja.
Hmm.
So
And last time, well, I don't even need to go into it, but it's like I will for just a little bit. But the last time I remember, like of like on the opposite side of things, when you had things like even before uh, what's it called, Shogun come up, but it's like you had things like Last Samurai.
right,
Other movies were white characters in the position of like otherworldly, not otherworldly, but like other cultures outside of themselves taking a prominent front center. Nobody complains.
no, nobody complained at all. It
Yep.
was like, but yeah, like I talked to Japanese people and they were like, nah, man, this is. It was like, cause I used to be cool with this Japanese woman around the time the Last Samurai came out. She was like, man, that movie is so disrespectful, and like I was just like,
I just remember the whole thing about it. It was like it just feels really. It feels offensive. It's like, okay, listen, I understand, like, even with the whole white savior trope aside, I understand, like, you want to be helping out, whatever it is, but, like, this guy literally comes out as, okay, not only am I going to be the dominant figure, I'm going to kill this woman's, like, husband and then take her for myself.
right,
That is the most egregious part about it.
oh yeah,
And
yeah,
act like it didn't happen.
yeah. That's what's even crazier. So yeah, I I just thought that was
But,
like a lot of that stuff, man. But like people just kind of skip over those parts. And then when you
yeah,
mention
because
it,
it doesn't, it
it
seems,
doesn't jive with the narrative.
yeah.
That's all it is. Yeah.
Suits their power fantasy.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's all crazy.
But yeah, I definitely am looking forward to playing that game.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know. That might be the. Cause I can't think of any other games that I really want like for the rest of this year.
You know what? That's another thing too. Yeah, I feel like gaming, like I don't know, maybe I'm just like kind of like falling out of like the news cycle and things like as I'm getting older, just kind of falling to the wayside of me knowing and perceiving. But it's like I feel like as I was younger, like I just kind of like knew it's like, oh yeah, this is coming out, and I know there was obviously the actors and writers strike that really had like a big blow on like Hollywood entertainment. But as far as on the gaming side, I just felt like did something happen? Because I just feel like I really haven't heard like a lot of buzz about things. I mean, yeah, there was like the GTA trailer that came out, and everybody was like wilding about that and whatnot, blah blah blah. But other than that, it's like I don't know.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I guess like I haven't. I'm the same way. Where it's just like there's only a couple of there's I have a handful of games that like I've like kept a little bit of a knowledge on, but that's
Mm-hmm.
it. So like most interesting thing or one thing I've seen is what is it? It's the freaking Wolverine game. So like
Oh yeah.
yeah. So like the Wolverine game came out or like it didn't come out but like it's been leaked like it's been leaked pretty much like kind of everywhere. So I just been like,
Yeah.
oh snap, because basically like what happened is like I think back in like October of last year, somebody hacked Insomniac servers and basically
Yeah, these
got all.
hackers are man. They listen after the whole thing with like Marvel announcing, okay, we're going after like whoever leaked the whole Captain America 4 photos, whatever. Listen, people better be careful because they're about to get beekeepered.
Oh yeah.
Like that movie, they about to get their like hands broken in and everything. It's gonna be a dude just knocking on their door. They sitting in their basement, playing, thinking it's all sweet and everything. And someone's gonna come in and just like beat the crap out of them and leave.
Mm-hmm.
Better stop playing with these big companies.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They'll come after you. They will definitely come after you. So that's the big thing because they really not playing about the millions that's lost and all that.
Yeah, because for us, it's more so annoying. It's like, okay, cool. I was looking forward to that as a surprise, but thank you for spoiling it for me. Thank you. I really appreciate that. But for them, it's like, okay, we about to come off your entire life. Like, how can I like garnish your wages on a governmental level, like type of stuff? I'm like, yo, stop this right now. Who is leaking this stuff? And once we find out, yeah, we're gonna get at them, both
Mm-hmm.
legally and probably illegally.
Right. Yep. That's usually what it is. Ugh, God damn it. Come on, come on. There we go. Boop, 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 boop. Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. I don't know. Da 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 da. But yeah. But now we got nothing else chopping off today, man. I'm gonna just I wasn't if I had known it was gonna rain or if it wasn't raining I was gonna cut my grass, but that's about it, man. Like, you know, just kinda kicking it for now. So yeah. And like right now I'm just waiting on some other stuff to kind of like shake out with the books and all of that. Like I've been spending a lot of
Wait, are
time.
you talking to me or are you talking to someone else?
No, I'm talking to you.
Oh, okay, I was about to say the way because at first, sorry, I was like just focusing. It's like, so is he talking about something in the chat?
No, yeah, no, I'm talking to you.
Okay,
Like,
my
cause
bad.
nobody's really talking to chat for a minute, so you know.
Yeah,
But
we gotta start getting the chat to be like more lively too. Like, you gotta figure that out.
yeah, yeah, you just need more engagement with the chat. That's all, you know. So
Yeah.
if you're listening, you know what I'm saying, whether you're on Twitch or you on what's the name, whether you're on Twitch or yeah, hey,
Instagram,
nah,
which you
Obsidian,
can
like you
change
here,
its
bro, like
algorithm settings, like every 3 months somehow, and just
yeah,
makes the game even harder.
right, yeah. So nah,
Don't even get engagements like when I
Obsidian,
go
you here,
live.
man. Like sometimes, so sometimes like we like, I don't see nothing happening on the chat, and I be like, oh snap, like is somebody here? Cause like Twitch would be
Yeah.
lying. Twitch would be lying to like basically kind of like not hurt your feelings, and they'll be like, there's one person in
Man,
the chat, so you don't
yeah.
see the goose egg. You know what I mean? But then like for real, I've had it like that where it's just like there's one person, there's one person here, but then like you talk and be like, hey, what's up, anybody? And then you don't see anybody, and you can't look and see
Yeah.
who's on there. So like, yeah, you'll have that that instance like that. But yeah, yeah, nah, like it's cool, man. I ain't mad. Like we trying to, our big thing is I'm trying to be more consistent about going live. Um, especially over the next couple of weeks as we get towards the con. One thing I wanted to try to do, and I'm not figured it out, is sometimes I'll be thinking about like, man, I should take like my phone or something to like spar in the morning, like when I go to the gym, you know what I'm saying, and go
Do
live
it.
from the gym. But like the only thing I worry about with doing that is the fact that at the gym they always be playing music, so it's like I don't want to have my stuff like flagged or anything. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's always the thing I
Oh,
be
flag. They said lagged.
no, it's
Flag.
just flagged. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll
Okay.
flag it and be like, you're playing music and we're gonna disable
Yeah.
everything. So yeah, I don't I be afraid of that. So but yeah, that's usually the big thing. But nah, man, like Uh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, it would be good for a live stream. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it would be good for a live stream. I think, especially after like what I posted today. I guess like, people might want to see me like train. You know what I'm saying? They might want to see me do that. So, you know, that's again, that's not every day that like something like that happens. So,
Yeah.
you know, but yeah. I mean, obviously, I just want to see how this looks in the next like 3 days from now, and hopefully it's fine. You know, so hopefully it heals and it gets better and all that stuff. So we'll see. We will see how that works out. But yeah, I don't know. What we looking at? We still got. I would say let's try to shoot for a solid 2 hours because we got about
Yeah.
135. We're at 135 right now. So, um, anybody got any questions in the chat? Shoot them to us. We trying to answer any questions that anybody has about anything. Well, not anything, but you know what I mean.
For the most part.
For the most part. So don't ask me about nuclear codes or anything like that.
I
So
mean, he might have them on him, but yeah, you ain't
I
gonna
ain't
get
say
them.
all that. I'm just saying don't ask me about them. That's what I'm stressing that right now. Don't ask me about nuclear codes, but other stuff you can ask me about. You know, that's the whole thing.
I've
But
always had a theory that there's like a a nuke somewhere in Washington that's just like in a place that you wouldn't expect. Is like they literally have a nuke like in the reflecting pool of like the Lincoln Memorial, and it just opens up like X-Men and just like shoots out. It's like, well, all right.
I would believe that. I would believe that there's some sort of missile silo in some weird place, like some weird place that nobody
Somewhere
would
it
ever.
shouldn't be, but somewhere that you would never expect it.
Yeah, like
Like I can imagine it's a combo of like places that are obviously out in the middle of nowhere, like somewhere like Montana. It's like there's a nuke out in Montana. What? Okay, whatever.
like
Like
why?
it's just hiding in the mountain.
Yeah, or it's
It's like coverage.
like
It's
it's
aerial
some it's
coverage. This one.
yeah it's like you can imagine, yeah, it's gonna be in the middle of a cornfield somewhere, but then like it would be even more interesting if it was like, hey, here's this missile silo that's in this amusement park that has been abandoned for 30 years, but apparently like they don't want to do anything with it. So
They retrofitted it. It's like
yeah,
it's a Dexter's Labified version of like okay, this is like where or no, like it's like Batman where it's like this is where he takes the Batmobile until like the train station that hasn't worked for 30 years and yet he goes there all the time. It's like,
exactly, exactly. So it's crazy.
I want
Obsidian.
to see a comic, and maybe there already has been one where it's like literally about like how Bruce Wayne is like retrofitted like the underbelly of Gotham for his own needs, where it's like literally like every single part
I've,
you were like,
I've heard
okay, so it's
about
like
I've heard
the
about something
the
along
Marina
those
Bay
lines.
is like literally where like the bat boat comes out of. There's like a airstrip that like has like an underground passageway tunnel to a sewer. That's where the his bat plane comes out. He's got like an emergency silo bunker somewhere underneath like Gotham Central or somewhere something like that, just like for easy access. If just crazy stuff, it's like yeah,
I
like
can
he
I can
literally the
see
entire
that. Like
city has
I've
been
heard about
retrofitted.
something. I've heard about something along those lines where Bruce does have something like that, where it's just like he's got all these things retrofitted, and like it's just he can go somewhere in Gotham if he's near like a particular cache of weapons or suits or something like that. But it's like a building that's owned by
Yeah.
Wayne Enterprises.
It's
It
that's the thing. It's like he owns everything, which like is scary, and I can see why. Like a lot of people were saying, like, okay, Bruce is like too rich. I mean, yeah, like you could be like Tony Stark rich, but like the way that he has things set up, Bruce, in my opinion, yeah, is probably more ridiculously richer than Tony, but in ways that almost seem impractical.
right.
And here's one of the things I thought about. So think about this. You remember? I
And
think it
I'm
was
sitting. I'm gonna get to
Batman
your
Forever.
question in
Because
a second.
Batman and Robin was the one with George Clooney, but
Yeah.
Batman Forever was Val Kilmer and Chris O'Donnell. Basically, I remember like one of the first things like for him to suit up, he's contacted by Alfred. He goes into his office in the Wayne estate, or like the Wayne Empire building, whatever it is, and he's on like the like very top floor. This dude literally closed the door. One of his attendants leaves, closed the door, and his chair slides back, and then underneath the floor, and mind you, like he's got to be on like the 60th floor in like this building, whatever. His floor opens up, and there's literally a tunnel chute that he slides down, and then somehow there's this like armored like I don't even know how you describe it, but basically it's like this armored jacket that he like gets pulled over him and helps him slide down the tunnel. And then basically, like at the end of it, he ends all the way down to the Batcave. I'm like, okay, so I have a lot of questions.
Yeah,
First of
someone
all,
built that.
is this thing like, because like in my understanding, the Batcave should be in Wayne Manor, which is like off to the distance. Like it'll be like off like on a bluff somewhere overlooking Gotham.
Right.
So I'm led to believe that this thing like not only shot him down through this 60-story building, but somewhere underground and then to Wayne Manor. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So it's like you
who
have
is
to.
he paying? Who is he paying under the table to like build this like incredible stuff and not, I'm assuming he's not killing them, but it's like you better not tell anybody about this.
Right. Yeah, it's a very good question. Like, who is paying that? I don't know. I wanted to answer Obsidian's question he put on Twitch. He said, on average, how do you organize your thoughts with Scrap, and what gets you guys excited for writing and creation? So for me, I watch a lot of fights. That's number one. Number two, like because I've been bubbling this idea for so many years, I'm always seeing like fighters do cool stuff that like makes me like, damn, I want to put that in a book. I want to write the sequence of that, or I want to do this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always getting excited by like people doing cool stuff in martial arts. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just an endless amount of cool things that happen either intentionally or unintentionally in martial arts that I'm always like, yo, I would like to see that happen. So, but more importantly, like, I guess the way I end up like kind of organizing everything to without like going into a diatribe of the creation of Scrap. um Basically, like, I put pretty much most of this first arc, which ends at Shannon having being a part of a tournament in Japan. um but basically, like, I put most of this arc already in like a screenplay. And so as I've been making issues, I have been like adding and taking away certain things that have appeared like in the original screenplay. And so just trying to streamline it for comics. So like, for example, like one of the things that didn't exist at all, like when I wrote the entire first arc, was well, actually, you can't. I don't know if you're on Twitch, so you wouldn't be able to see it. Like the character Inanna, you know what I'm saying? Which I trying to figure out what way I can do that. I can do probably a screen grab somewhere, but because I know if you're on IG, you can see it. But let me see if I can do this. Switch to my uh, screen sharing. Um, I'm gonna change the screen real quick, and boom. So the character Inanna, or not Inanna, but Zakaya. So character you see in in the middle there, Zakaya. She was not in the original script at all. You know what I'm saying? And so um, basically, like, what ended up happening was when I was like working on the second arc and of Scrap, and I had posted, like, I was like, oh, I want to have this thing where I have her character show up. She's gonna be revealed to be Shannon's best friend, this and this. And I posted it. I posted the image of her back in like this was again back in whatever time. I posted the image of her, and like it just went wild. You know what I mean? Like, people just absolutely freaking loved her. And they were like, "Yo, who is this?" Blah 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 blah. And like, it got to the point where like I was just like, okay, I need to do something with her, like, to introduce her faster. Because like if I would have stayed on course for the original series, like, you wouldn't see her for like tons of books. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, well, because I had a whole different story I was writing for issue 3, and I was like, well, I can't do that now. I got to like introduce Zakaya. And so, I went and introduced her, and like I had more images of her and like just, her and Shannon in high school and stuff like that, of like how they met and stuff. And then eventually it became like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and like flesh out this story, and I want to start telling the story with them, which ends up like is a story that you end up seeing in issue 10 of like how they met and how they got cool and everything like that. But yeah, that's kind of like the thing that happened, and it was one of those things that again organically happened because people absolutely loved the Zakaya character, and they loved like a lot of stuff that she was doing, and like the images I had of her, and it was just like, yo, we got to see her, we got to do this, we got to blah blah blah, and I was like, well, I guess this is what the people want, so we gonna do this, you know what I mean? And it kind of worked out that way. So yeah, to answer your question though, man, like I dream about this stuff like a lot, and I watch a lot of fights from everywhere. That's why like, if you follow me on Instagram, like I have a lot of I always post like different highlights and knockouts and submissions and all this other cool stuff that I'll see, and I'd be like just because it's all like things that are like going through my head, like yo, I want to see this, or maybe if I do this, or this is cool, or this is a nod to this, or I have a character that does this, or blah blah blah, and it's just like it's been a thing. So yeah, that's what always inspires me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the long form version to answer your question. Yeah. So I don't know, but yeah, man, I'm like overall, man, I'm like super excited about this stuff, like about like these upcoming issues, man. Like so I'm like super pumped about that. Oh snap! But yeah, shout out to Endurance Comics showing up in the fourth quarter. Yeah,
Oh, what's up, BJ? I didn't even realize. Yeah.
yeah. I just saw him pop in. I was like, oh snap! Yep. But yeah, man, we just in here kicking it, man. So yeah, oh no doubt, Obsidian, man. We just being here doing the thing. So yeah. Oh, something I didn't tell you, Charles. Well, not that it's relevant to you, but like the Grace Neza character, this particular jujitsu gi that she has on, like my coach at my gym, she's she's actually making that. She's physically making that gi. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, like, cause she likes the gi so much, and she's like, yo, I mean, she's already a black belt in jiu-jitsu anyway, but like, she's like, yo, I like this gi so much, I'm gonna make it. You know what I mean? Cause she makes a lot of stuff, like clothing stuff, and so she's like, well, shit, I already got the black belt. You know what I mean? Mine's is legit, and I'm gonna make this. So I was like, bet. So yeah, yeah, she's gonna. I think when we do, I know she's gonna be out of town the next couple of weeks, but I'm thinking probably I'll probably have a picture of her in it. I guess when she gets back, so like that might be like in a month or two,
Yeah.
like where she finishes the gi and everything. But I'm super excited to see her do this, just because it was the idea for this gi like came up. I forget how it came up. I saw something. I want to see where's the inspiration from it. Let's see if I can pull up what I had initially. Let's see here. Baba Dow. Shit. Let's see. Grace was it this? Okay. Yeah, it was this. So I'm gonna show this on Twitch as well. But boom. this this was the original inspiration for the gi. And I was like, I can do this, but I can do it like better. And since he was from Brazil, um, you know, I was like, okay, let me figure out a better way to make this. So um, I went and looked up like Brazil's like one of the flowers from Brazil that was like kind of like a national flower or something like that, and I based it more on that, like because I don't because those are just sakura uh, flowers, but like I wanted something that was like very very Brazilian, so I found like the what is it? I wonder if it was flip on there. Bop 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 bop. Uh,
Okay.
is it in here? Nope, it's not in there. All right, let me see if I can pull it up another way. Uh, let's see. And for Obsidian who didn't see this, these are all the little ideas. Oh, there it is. That's a flower. That's the Gloxina flower from Brazil. So it's like that's like a I guess a national flower there or whatever. So I was like, yo, let me put that on her her gi outfit and yeah, but that was like this was the original inspiration for it. I was like, let's do this, but like better. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and that was the woman. That woman I was like the woman I had originally based Grace Neza on, and I can't remember what her IG was, but like physically I based it on her, but then like I just wanted to like figure out a better way, and that's like the original sketch of her, and they were like, okay, we need to update this a little bit more and mess around with it more. So that was that. So let's see, and it's always cool to see like just the evolution of certain uh, certain people or certain characters. Like when you get that, and then like you know you end up with like this type of character and just see like the evolution of it. So it's always cool, man. Like I always kind of take that moment to like kind of look at that and like look back at certain how certain characters evolve. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's very interesting to see stuff like that. But yeah, man, I go into depths with like a lot of this stuff, man. Like like Grace Neza, she's obviously based on like um oh I'll show you spooky stabby. I'll show you which yeah you'll like her. But yeah, Grace Neza is based like obviously on the lineage of the Gracie family. I went through and like made like a sixth generation family tree of the Neza family when I was like first starting out Scrap. So like there's like a lot of Neza people in the Neza family I'm gonna pull from like later on in the series. But I think Spooky Stabby, you were talking about our friend here, Zakaya. So Zakaya is Shannon's best friend. So it's our main character, Shannon, and then Zakaya is like her best friend, and you know, basically they started out in pretty much like to give you a quick little rundown of the backstory is the fact that um, Shannon always had a temper on her, and she ended up getting into some fights in school and stuff like that. What ended up happening was she ended up getting into a fight and like uh, because she was like basically sticking up to these bullies. What ultimately ended up happening was that was like the last straw for this little public school that she was at. Her mom was like, "Yo, I'm gonna pull some strings and get you into this other school, and if you mess up here, I don't know what we're gonna do." You know what I mean? But bottom line is, but yeah, Oh man, I would love that. I would love to be have him in a side scroll beat 'em up game. But like which I'll show you an image here real quick in a second after I tell you the story. But basically like what happened is Zakiah or rather Shannon like ended up going to and actually I can use visual aids. I realize this now. I can use visual aids here. So Zakiah ended up going or Shannon ended up going to this school and it was it's called Saint Rush Preparatory Academy, which is a very deep cut to a nod to George St. Pierre, you know, and like George St. Pierre is one of the greatest MMA fighters ever, but yeah, Saint Rush Preparatory Academy is like what ended up they ended up like Shannon ended up being shipped off there. Very elite school, very super school. Apparently, again, Shannon's mom had connections to like get her into this school like for free because Shannon's parents ain't loaded or Shannon's mom ain't loaded. You know what I mean? But like she with all these rich kids, so she figured like you're not gonna mess up with these rich kids. It'll be fine. Nobody's gonna mess with you. It's gonna be okay. So what ends up happening? Oh shoot, is my phone? Oh man, my phone died. God damn it! I didn't
I
realize it
noticed that
wasn't
because I was
charging.
like, oh, something happened.
Oh no. Shoot. Anyway, you're still on Twitch. Um,
That's funny.
basically like, yeah. So you're on Twitch, man. Like basically,
Yeah,
like
I'm
the
on
whole
Twitch.
thing was, damn. I can't believe my phone died right then. That
Bro,
sucks.
like telling you, man, it's not easy with the.
But
It's
no,
almost like
like
Instagram is
Obsidian, man,
making
you're
it
on Twitch,
harder.
and I can tell you the story. I guess I'll use some visual aids for you real quick. So, boom. Oh shoot. Let's do this. Oh 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 oh. Let's open up this character thing here, because I can tell you the story while my phone tries to recharge. I can't believe that, man. My thing has been so wonky as of late, man. Like my connection. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been having issues. Hold on, real quick. Damn. Huh. Shoot. Son of a bitch.
That's just the way. Wait, hold on. Bro, can you hear me on
All
Twitch?
right. Well, I don't know what my thing is.
Fred,
Man, it's salty right now.
Fred, can you hear me on Twitch?
Man, super salty.
Fred, I guess not.
Mm. I don't know what I unplugged there, but I'm gonna do this. God dang it, man. I can't believe that. Phone ended up dying on me. It died at the worst time too. Can't believe that, man. All right, let me see what we can do here. I can't believe that. I'm super salty now. God dang it. Damn, that's crazy. I don't know where my other charger is. My other pack. It was on the table. Oh, I know somewhere.
All right. Guess it's just me.
Man, I can't really believe that. That's absolutely nuts.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
So we have to try this. That was crazy. Yeah, Charles, my bad, man. This is a goofy situation here.
Can you hear me though?
I'm gonna see how this works out. I just gotta find something to clip this on. Charles, you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool.
See, that's okay. Because like literally, I was asking you if you could hear me this entire time, but I got no
Yeah.
response back. So I'm
No,
assuming
so
you
my
didn't.
phone died on me. You know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, you know. And so I was like panicking to get the phone back and stuff. So, but I think I know what I can do. I'm just trying to figure out how I can do this because I got no notification that my phone was dying, you know, and so that was kind of crappy. All right, there's no way I can angle this. Is there a way I can? I wonder. Huh. Interesting. So here's a funny thing. I bought this hold up. I bought this thing this charger for my phone. Um like it's for my for like to basically be in the car. You know what I'm saying? Like cuz I use it for when I'm driving. But like yeah, like there's this wireless charger cuz my current phone charger it like pretty much is at a point where like I can't plug into my oh hold on now Skip I can't plug into the I can't plug into like my phone charger without like having it move. So apparently because of that, like what ends up happening is I end up having a janky connection to like my charger, and I charge my phone up in this instance where it was like oh you're charging up your phone. However, you don't have we're not going to tell you have like a slow connection. So it's
Yeah.
like it's eating more battery than it's like it's using. You know what I'm saying? It's like eating battery at a rapid rate, and so that kind of ended up being a thing, and that was kind of crappy. So, um, but let's see here. See if I can do this. All right. What if I? What does this look like? Can I move this down here like this? Because now my phone's charging up like fast now with the wireless charging. So that was another reason I was looking into getting another phone. Is just because like, basically I'm like I don't have a my stable charging setup now is kind of like a moot point. So I don't know. Man, just want to see if I can get back to at least finishing the thing online or the thing on Instagram. I want to see if I can just at least set this up again. So, all right. Boo, boo, boo. Because, yeah, this might be how we have to do this now. I just want to see the angle of it.
Message from Charles Stewart 3. Can you hear me on Twitch?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Wow, you just got that, bro.
Yeah, I know, right? And it was crazy. Like I said, I had turned the volume down on Twitch, and I'm sitting there like I saw the phone die, and I'm sitting there panicking, like, oh no, blah. So let's see if it. Hey, just gotta. Oh shoot, just gotta angle it a little bit better. That's gonna be weird, but it'll have to make do for now. I just can't touch the phone. So yeah, y'all just gonna see this little pole in here while I got this set up this way. Boop 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 boop. And the cake, 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 cake. Bernie Sanders need a Nike deal. I was just listening to that the other day. That's
Lupe.
yeah. So let's try to get you back in here, sir. Uh-oh. Ooh, 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 ooh.
I don't know why, but it looks like in this image Shannon has a scar on her face for some reason.
Yeah, the
Like
shadow
a
is.
scar.
Yeah, the shadow looks. I think it's the first of all, it's two things. One, the lighting from like, I guess how my phone is, and I sent you an invite.
Yeah.
Yeah, but let's see. Boom. See if it links you that way. But yeah, I think it's the combination of the lighting. Plus, in this lighting, though, I guess the way my phone is like picking up the lighting, it looks like she's way lighter than what she is.
Yeah.
So
That was always my biggest thing, and not to be colorist or anything, but I'm like,
no, I know, I
why
dig
do
it.
people just keep making her lighter and lighter? It's like
No, I dig it
it's
because
the Halle
like
Berry syndrome. It's like, come on, yo.
yeah, that's why like this image, I looked at her, I was like, oh crap, this is like she's really light here. But then like when I went through and did it through Photoshop, I was like, okay, nah, we gotta change that up a little bit because she's like, granted, you're not gonna see it through here, but like she's definitely like darker. Oh, I cropped that out. My bad. Let's go to the other one. Is it this one? No, I don't know. I know whatever I did, like I made it to where she was darker. So, damn, and then my phone died again, which is weird because it shouldn't be dying like I don't know. I'm like I'm gonna have to be done with the with IG right now, man. Like, cause it just seems like despite me trying to work this and work my best efforts on this, it's just it's just not being my friend today. Like my phone is just not like deciding it wants to charge. So
Okay. Oh
yeah,
wait, did it die again?
yeah, my phone died again. Even though it's on like
Oh, okay, that's why. Because I was like, yeah, it
even
says
though it's
like
on a wireless
7 minutes.
charger, it died again. So it's like, you know, it is what it is. So yeah, I have to like, I have to wait till my phone's 100% and then like just
Mm.
monitor it from now on. Like, you know what I mean? Because this ain't it, Chief. So that's how it's gonna have to be. I hate that like I can't sign back on to what's his face to be like, hey everybody, this is the end. So I don't know. I don't know, man. But I'm not gonna keep fooling with it. So plus we had 210 anyway. Um, yeah, man.
Yeah, I might have to start signing out soon.
Yeah, it's cool. We can go ahead and kill it. And I just put up a message be like, hey, I apologize everybody. My phone died on me. We will try again like the next week, but like thank you everybody for stopping by. That whole deal. So that'll be that. But all right, man. I will holler at you, bro. Like later on in the week. Keep me posted on the pages and stuff, and we'll go from there.
Yes, sir.
So, all right, y'all. Obsidian, thank you for rocking with me and all that stuff. So